Shalom. Before I do anything, I want to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad. And with that, this is Brother Samak coming at you with another lesson. Lord will, this is edifying. So, this lesson, I'm going to call this one, The Grass is Not Always Greener. You know, because this thing actually came to me about 2 days ago, I want to say. Kind of like around 2 days ago. Something happened to where it was like, it was, let's just say certain things happen where you go to this specific thing and it's not what it's cracked out to be, if I'm making any sense. And that's what happens, man, you know, when it comes down to certain things you do, like and it shows too, man, like that you have changed and you've grown, you know. It's like the things you were doing when you were in the world, you don't do anymore, and you look back at it and you try to you may go back to it one time and you're like, I don't want to do this, you know. So it's like it's crazy, man, because the life that we once had, we let it go. And the scriptures say, what's that? I could get it real quick, actually. You know, just going through the spirit. Let me see. Actually, I want to get Mark. I like the Mark one better. Mark chapter 8. And I'll start at, let me get out of this one. I'm going to use the NLT as well for some of the scriptures. But Mark chapter 8 and verse 34, it says, no, straight to the point. It says, verse 35, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. See? So, yeah, we lost our lives, man. We lost our lives when it comes to, you know, the lives we once had. We let it go for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The scriptures say, I think it was Paul, you know, counted all dung, which dung goes into basically like shit, to win Yahweh Shai, man. You know? So we're letting everything go so that way we can obtain Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the kingdom, everything like that, the reward, you know? Giving these lives up because Yahweh Shai, who the world only calls Jesus Christ, was going into it. What shall we have thereof? You know, the things of the the regeneration, right? You shall come with me, judging angels, you know, all these different things. So you will receive 100-fold, you will receive, you know, all these things, and it's beautiful, man, you know. So just giving up this life, and in the kingdom to come, we get that and some, right? So but going into this as far as the grass is greener, so like if we're getting a little off topic, but hey, just going through the spirit though, you know. Yeah, so it's not always greener on the other side when, you know, say you see people doing certain things that makes come off as great and everything like that. And yeah, it's not always great, you know. So again, the scriptures say to envy not the wicked. I got a few that I wanted to get into. I'm not sure which one I should do, but I kind of said about the wicked prospering. So I'm gonna go to Psalms 73 because David himself was going. You know, I read this whole thing a few minutes ago, and this whole thing is really good, man. You know, Psalms really is like really comforting. You know. So let's read a little bit in this. Not sure where I want to stop, but I might read the whole thing. We'll see. But it says, verse 1, Psalm 73 and verse 1, it says, truly the Most High is good to Israel, even to so much, even to such as are of a clean heart. And heart going back to the word Allah, which means mind. Verse 2, but as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. It said, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. And there's things, man, where I'm sure, yeah, well, I don't want to say I ever really envied the wicked in any type of way, but there is times where you look and you're like, oh, wow, that looks fun, or this looks this and everything like that. But realistically, it's like, nah, bro. It always looks good on the outside, but on the inside, nah. It's definitely not what it appears to be. But let's keep it reading. It says again, for I was envious of the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. It said, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. It says, verse 5, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. And you see that now, man. You see that now, even with our people. These wicked, people our people are wicked and everything like that. But really, it's these other nations, right? Because we are under the curses. So the wicked is prospering. The so-called white man and how he does things. He's not. He has no problems with certain things and elements like Jake does. So his pride, the pride and everything like that. Money. He got the money and everything together. Basically, I could say his women are actually women. Unlike our women. Our women are, especially starting with the so-called black women. All out of order and everything like that. We coming back and forth with our women, but yet they're not having really problems like that. When it comes to the way they eat, the way they have their things, man. Because they're ruling, they're above us, right? It says, where am I at here? It says, verse 7. It says, their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish, right? And he was given, the earth in a way, he got all this stuff and everything like that, but it really is a blessed way. Ah, man. That goes into as well what I'm thinking about Esau, Edom being blessed with the sword, which that sword actually is a curse. It's like a blessing, but it's actually a curse. And that's how the Lord does it, man. It's a beautiful thing. So it's like all these things that he had to get for by stepping on people's toes and everything like that, and building his town upon blood. And the scriptures say things about how building your town upon blood, it's gonna basically come back to you, roughly paraphrasing, but being cleansed, roughly paraphrasing. Let me get that real quick because I don't want to butcher it. Salakia. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. It says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. Behold, it is not of the Lord of hosts, that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. It says, the earth shall be filled with knowledge. Let me see something. Well, that's pretty much the point. But I was trying to get it basically as well, like the scriptures say, the earth being cleansed. You see that? Yeah, by bloodshed. So, long story short, the only way this place can be cleansed is by him that shedded blood. Roughly paraphrasing. I'm gonna get that too real quick. Salaki. This is Numbers chapter 35 and verse 33. It says, So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood is defiled, it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Yeah, and that's the point. That's the point. Yeah, so all in all, Esau's blood, woe unto you that built your town upon blood and iniquity, and by iniquity. So Esau, Edom, he's gonna have to pay for that, man. So the scriptures say, he that liveth by the sword will perish by the sword, man. So all in all, Esau, Edom, yeah, he's prospering now, but soon enough, he's gonna meet his demise, man. He's gonna meet his end. But let me keep reading. I'm gonna skip down because Dave was getting into it. But let me see. Yeah. So I'm gonna read verse 12. It says, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world, and they increase in riches. Verily I say, I have cleansed my heart in vain, and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. And again, it shows as well that David was in the curses, man. As well. He was under the curses too. It says, if I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against Naslake. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children. Basically, he said, if I say this in front of if I say this, I will offend against the generation of thy children, of us. So thank God. Basically, he didn't say this in front of anybody, and he's saying it to the Most High. He's crying to the Most High, right? So it says, when I thought to know this, it was too painful for me, until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then understood I their end. See, and the scriptures say, for the Most High's thoughts is not our thoughts, and neither is his ways our ways. So his ways are higher. So these things are happening for a reason. So that's why we have to stay with the Lord no matter what, even if things go bad. And I remember talking to a certain person, in particular, she's a woman. Oh, my sister, my woman, you know what I'm saying? But, never waits till the end of the movie, in a figurative speech, I say, they always want to, those people that never wait till the end, they things are happening right now. They want to comment on. They want to be all crazy. Like, wait till the end of the movie, and then you can comment, because a lot of times it'll be answered and be like, okay, that's why. So hold on, in other words. So it says, until I went to the sanctuary, into the sanctuary of the Most High, then I understood, then understood I their end. Salakia. Give me a second. Goodness gracious, Lord. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. Salaki, my throat. My throat. Alright, but it says 18. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou cast them down into destruction. How are they brought into desolation as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors. See? So at first, David was, looking at the wicked and seeing them prospering. Like, why are they prospering when they're doing wicked? What's going on? And we're seeing that all the day long, and the scriptures even talk about that too, in different scriptures as well. The wicked prospering, but he waited and stayed with the Lord. So I'm gonna skip down. 22. It says, so foolish was I and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee. Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. Whom have I in heaven but thee? And there is none upon earth that I desire beside thee. My flesh and my heart faileth, but the Most High Yahweh is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. It says, for lo, they that are far from thee shall perish. Thou hast destroyed all them that go a whoring from thee. It says, but it is good for me to draw near to the Most High Yahweh. I have put my trust in the Lord God Yahweh, that I may declare all thy works. So yeah, man. So stay close. He stayed close, man. That's how we gotta be too. This I think the scriptures also say, draw nigh to the Lord, and He will draw nigh to thee. If I'm not mistaken, So you gotta be near the Lord, man. And I'll say this: when your brothers say it all the time, how when you're at your lowest, that's when He's with you the most. When you're at your lowest. Let me get what's that? Psalms 37. Yeah, it says Psalms 37 and verse 1. It says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. Right. Again, envious, going into wanting what somebody has, jealousy, all this stuff like that. Nah, man. Shouldn't be envious of that, because you don't know their end. The scriptures say there's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof is the ways of death or destruction, man. So you got to understand how the Most High works as well, because he'll make you think, man. Yeah, man. He'll make you think that you got away with it, and that's in the one of the scriptures I had too. He'll make you think that you got away with it, and you really didn't, man. Like he holds it. And that's a scary thing when somebody's holds the punishment back and just continuously adds on. So Esau, Edom, starting with Esau, Edom. Of course, it's these other nations too, because they had a hand in what's going on, man. With so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So all these other nations gonna get theirs, but Esau, Edom, the so-called white man is gonna get his the worst. Okay, he has a check. He has a check. No, he has like brothers say, he has a check he can't cash, man. He has something that he can't even pay for himself. He gonna have to pay with punishment, man. He gonna have to pay that bill, man. It's a bill that it's here to say for his sins have reached into heaven. So it says, verse 2, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Right. And that's another thing too. You're doing good. The scriptures say in Sirach, the 7th chapter, do good and and no evil shall come upon thee, right? So if you do good, and now you got to know what is good, right? You got to go to the scriptures, knowing right from wrong, because a lot of things that Jake does, that they think that is good, really isn't good, in the eyesight of the Lord, So it says, verse 5, it says, commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. It says, verse 6, and he shall bring forth the righteous as a light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way. Right, fret. Let me look up fret real quick. So this is the definition of fret. It says the meaning means to worry or be anxious or feel troubled about something. So when you fret, it says not fret, right? It says rest in the Lord. Verse 7 again, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not, so worry not, or don't be anxious, right? So fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his ways, or in his way, because of the men who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil, for evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. Right, man. So those who wait upon the Lord, man. So you waiting upon the Lord to do something, being patient, and patience going into suffer. It goes into as well the Revelation is the 3rd chapter. Since thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee up from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world. So these times where Jake, these 2/3 of our people are going through things, since we have waited upon the Lord and kept the word of the Lord's patience and everything, he's gonna take care of us, man. The scriptures say, "For my servants shall eat," right? And for the ones that didn't wait upon the Lord and just said, and we're just gonna go about to establish our own righteousness and try to get some of Esau's crumbs and try to get up and everything like that. I was gonna say, the scriptures say they have received their consolation. In other words, they have received the reward, man. So don't be worrying about. And it makes me think of man, I ain't gonna lie again. Brothers laugh about this one, but I watch SpongeBob, man, and I like SpongeBob. You know what I'm saying? SpongeBob. There was an episode on SpongeBob where I don't know if brothers watch SpongeBob, but it's it's funny, but the magic conch, you know, which that's off anyway. That goes into worshiping other idols and stuff like that. But the point is they waited, they waited and had faith. That showed faith because it was an episode where they were in the woods and everything, stranded and everything, and Squidward was like, man, I'm gonna try to figure out something. I'm gonna do this, but Patrick and SpongeBob waited and just was patiently waiting. So meanwhile, Squidward was teasing him and everything like that, and that is spiritual as well because you got people doing that. You see the wicked prospering and things like that, and they and now they're teasing, they're doing all these different things to try to get you to fold and everything like that, and again Squidward doing that, it still didn't faze him. And what happened? Food fell from the truck and just dropped, and now since they waited and now they got the food, they were not hungry at all. And they got way more than what they asked for, So it shows, again on the spiritual aspect. Of course, that was a little cartoon and stuff like that. But the point is, the fact that that they patiently waited, they ended up getting getting that and some. They had a lot of food, because they waited. So what more? The elect, what more the men of the Lord, man. When we wait upon the Lord and the Lord sees us and the things that we are going through, through the Spirit, when it comes to even when it comes to our jobs, when it comes to even the women and different things that we challenge that we face throughout going into this world, man. On our day-to-day walk. So we're gonna be good, when people are prospering in the day of their calamity. Yeah, it's gonna be flipped on to them, man. And the Lord even said that He's gonna laugh. So it says, verse 10, for yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be, yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. It says, but the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. So, yeah, believe that, man. The meek goes into the what? The lowly, the humble. So that's who the Lord is for, the meek and the lowly. I'm going to read 12 and 13. It says, the wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. And that's Esau Edom, man. He knows his day is coming, And soon enough, that's why, slowly but surely, Esau Edom is gonna go all ape and start coming down on you Jake, man. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans even harder. That's why he's putting stuff in the food. That's why he's delaying certain things. He's doing certain things to mess with you, Jake, man. Psalms 83, right? So let me get this is I can get a small one. I can get this one. Matter of fact, Psalm 37 as well, but I can get 1 John chapter 4 and verse 4. It says, ye are of Yahweh, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Okay, so we are of Yahweh, man. We are of the Heavenly Father.
You know, it says, they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of Yahweh. He that knoweth the Most High Yahweh heareth us, and he that is not of the Most High heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. See, it's a difference. The spirit of truth and the spirit of error. That's why when we talk to a lot of Jake, they're not going to understand it. It's not going to resonate with them, you know, especially these so-called Christians. You know, it's not going to resonate with them because they're blind. You know, they got that, again, it goes back to that slave doctrine, man, that freaking Christianity religion, man. You know, that's what we were taught, lies and everything, man, back then. So that's not the way to go. That's the spirit of error, the spirit of the world as well. So there's a difference, right? But the point is verse 4, ye are of the Most High, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. See? So that's key. So it's, again, going back to the heart of the lesson, as far as the grass is always greener on the other side. It's not always green on the other side when it comes to a lot of things. You know, it may seem like it on the outward appearance and everything like that, but really, it's not. You know, it make me think of this. What's that? Let me see. First Samuel chapter. What's that? Dang, let me see if I remember it. It's 17. No. Nope. Not Psalms. First Samuel, or is it Second Samuel? Oops. Second Samuel, chapter. No. Salakia. Probably is this one though. I think it is Second Samuel. Oh, here it is. First Samuel chapter 16 and verse 7. It says, "But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance." And that's the thing. That's the problem with majority of our people. They look on the outward appearance and they just think on the outside, oh yeah, it's good. It looks good. That's why you see, when you see Christianity, even when you see, say in Israel, you see IUIC, they got all the nice, little things going on with the purple and everything's all structured and everything like that. Which is, again, I'm going to say this real quick too. There's nothing wrong with being like, structured and being this, that, and the other. But it's the point is, it's like, you shouldn't let that make you. You shouldn't let those things be the reason, I'll say, why you should be in this and why this is the, no. We want the rawness. And that's why, when it comes down to it, that goes into as well, going in for the wrong reasons, because they look at IUIC, they look at the church, they look at certain things that may be appealing to the eyes, but really it's deception, because we're living, even the scriptures say we're living in this time of deception when it comes to everything, even going down to the woman that we have, man. The women looking all nice and everything like that, but realistically, they're freaking headaches. It's all fake, with the fake eyelashes and the fake hair, all the makeup and everything like that. What you see on TV is deception. All these freaking celebrities, these women, everything, it's off, man. It shows as well, like the time that we're living in is really deception, you know? So we got to be careful out there because it's like things aren't always what it appears to be, you know? So it says, again, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart, which heart going back to the word lob, which means mind. So that's the key, man. You know, we shouldn't be judging things on the outward appearance. You know, we should be judging on what's going on the inside, you know. Even I believe Yahweh Shai even said, the outward part maybe looking good, but the inward part is full of dead man's bones, roughly paraphrasing. So it's like you can't really judge on the outside, man. You gotta be going on like you gotta ask questions, you know? You gotta be like, you can't just be quick. Man, that's another thing too, man. You can't be just quick to be like, okay, and then just join, you know? Man, yo. Let me get dang, it's so much more that I want to get to because it was Psalms 24, I think. Yeah, Psalms 24. I don't want to make this too long, but again, I'm just going off of the spirit. I wanted to get this in the NLT though, because this goes crazy on the NLT. Sometimes NLT is nice, but in some cases, I was reading some of the other scriptures in NLT. I didn't really like it, but this one I think I liked. It says, Psalms 24 and verse 1. It says, "Don't envy people or desire their company." It says, "For their hearts plot violence." Right? It says, "And their words always stir up trouble. A house is built by wisdom and becomes strong through good sense." See? So again, do not envy people or desire their company. Don't be, you know, trying to be friends with, you know what I mean? Cause ultimately you are who you're around. That spirit is gonna come upon you. The scriptures say, be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. You know? For what fellowship does righteousness have with unrighteousness? Or what fellowship does light have with dark? None. So it's best to stay away from that, you know? Steer away from that because it's like you don't want that type of stuff to be going on. Y'all remember talking today, well, technically yesterday, about to this guy, you know, we were talking about, you know, like being careful with like spirits, man, you know? Because people could put some type of spirit on you, you know, so you gotta be careful with that, man. So again, don't envy people or desire their company, for their hearts plot violence, and their words always stir up trouble. A house is built by wisdom and becomes strong through good sense. Through the knowledge through knowledge, its rooms are filled with all sorts of precious riches and valuables. It says, the wise are mightier than the strong. It says, and those with knowledge grow stronger and stronger. And that's man, it's true. When you have this wisdom, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, okay, you're just going to grow stronger. When you have wisdom, and it goes into it, I believe, because wisdom is better than you know, the mighty, you know, you got beefy dudes, you know, all this muscle, and they're maybe strong and everything like that, but that really doesn't matter anymore. You know, it's not gonna matter at the end of the day, man. Jacob's trouble, you could be beefy, you can be brolic, you could be all this stuff, but that won't save you. That's not gonna save you, man. So it's like, here it is. You got all this stuff on you. You know, you're working out, you're doing this. You know, the scriptures say bodily exercise profiteth little, and brothers like to emphasize the fact that it does profit. We're not knocking the fact that, you know, when you do your exercise, it still profits, right? You got to be healthy. You got to stay right and everything like that. Keep your body in order, you know? But at the same time, know this, that this is not going to save you, you know? Being beefy and you got you're cut up, no neck looking, you know, it's not going to save you, man, you know? So it says, verse 6, so don't go to war without wise guidance. Victory depends on how many advisors. It says wisdom, right? And again, without wise guidance, you know, and the wise guidance is this truth, man. Again, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Isaiah 33:6. So we have to understand that we gotta have a level head. We gotta know where we in. We gotta know the plays, man. You know, the playbook before going in there, man. The scriptures say, he that leadeth his life without what's that? Necessary patience in seeking the Lord is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide, roughly paraphrasing. So we're seeking the Lord, you know? It says, call hello Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for it is knowledge and understanding, man. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. It says, wisdom is too lofty for a fool, which I believe lofty goes into pride, that prideful and everything, haughtiness and everything. So it says, among leaders at the city gate, they have nothing to say. A person who plans evil will get a reputation as a troublemaker. And that's this here, man, going into it, man, this goes into, man, I remember reading this and it made me think of like the class clown. You know, the class clown that, you know, all jokes and everything like that. But the class clown, a lot of the times you will see they're not even doing good in school. So, yeah, oh, man, this guy's so cool, so cool. Those people that look cool and they're cool with everything like that in high school. But then what? They're working at freaking McDonald's or something like that and wasted their whole, you know, thing, and now dropped out of school or something like that because they didn't get good grades or something like that. Too busy trying to look cool, you know. So always getting into trouble, you know, because getting in trouble was considered to be cool and everything like that. It's just sad, man. This world's so backwards. It says, verse 9, the schemes of a fool are sinful. Everyone detests a mocker. If you fail under pressure, your strength is too small. See? Yeah, man. That goes into I always like hearing that, but about the sower, right? The ones that weren't rooted, you know, that weren't rooted into this. So didn't have any. The scriptures say it was no deepness in the earth, you know. So you're weak, you know. When something hits you, you shrivel up, you know. You tense up. You just fall. The fallouts, man. You know. It says, rescue those who are justly sentenced to die. Save them as they stagger to their death. Don't accuse yourself by saying, look, we didn't know. For the Most High understands all hearts and he sees you. And that's another thing too. He sees all things. So you think that the fact that this person needed help and you didn't help this person, the Lord sees that, man. You know? Again, give them warning from me. What's that? Ezekiel 3:17 on down. You know? You see a person going the wrong way, you tell them. You know? It says, he who guards your soul knows you knew. He will repay all people as their actions deserve. See? So you got to understand when it comes down to helping out one another, can't just be selfish. You can't be selfish in this, man, either. You know? Am I my brother's keeper? You are your brother's keeper, man. What is that? Yahweh Shai even went into that with that parable. You know? When I was in jail, ye visited me. When I was hungry, you fed me, right? Gave us me drink. Or roughly paraphrasing, you clothed me. And he said, what? When did we do this? When you were tending to your brethren, roughly paraphrasing. So that's what we have to do, man. You know? Let me see something. I think it's all the way down to 22. Yeah, it is all the way down to 22. Let me see. I kind of want to see if I can skip a little bit. It says, verse 19. It says, don't fret because of evildoers. Don't envy the wicked. For evil people have no future. And that's what it was too. You got people, going back to that school thing too. Like they had no, you could go into that. You can go into, you can go into a lot of things. Even Esau, Edom, Esau, Edom, and how he's prospering. He has no future. He has no, after this comes what? It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So when we start ruling, Esau is going to be gone, man. We're going to rule over him, everything like that for a period of time, right? But then he's going to be gone. The scriptures say there was no place found for him in heaven. No way he's going to come back, right? So the kingdom to come, which is for the you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Because it's going to be our turn to rule, and that's it. That's the end of it. So no future, right? It says again, verse 20, for evil people have no future. The light of the wicked will be snuffed out. It says, snuffed, but it says, my child, fear the Lord and the King. Don't associate with rebels, for disaster will hit them suddenly. Who knows what punishment will come from the Lord and the King? See, you don't know what punishment is going to come, for them. But we know that they're going to be punished, though. You got to understand what's going on. Like, you people, and I'll say this too, back again with the school and everything like that. I remember a time where I was in school, and there's times where I was in the little thing what goes on in the school where the kids, do little bad things, which comes out cool, but they end up what? Getting detention, and was it worth it? No, it wasn't. Because now you're looked at as the troublemaker. You're looked at as the laughing stock. You're looked at as as it says, the class what? Clown, because you're a clown, man. You're a clown. You're stupid. You're a fool. Don't envy these guys, man. Because again, they're gonna be left back. So they're gonna end up being punished because they. Again, I can't help to think about school a lot because it's like the times where the cool kids or whatever that got in trouble, they did that thing that they did, which looked cool, but then what? Got detention for it. Got it. Failed this class, so they had to what? Stay back, and that's spiritual. They had to stay back. So it's crazy, man. But yeah, that's the point. So, yeah, the grass is not always green on the other side, man. It may look like it from the outward appearance, but all in all, it really isn't, man. So with that, I pray that you've been edified. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad. And with that, I say, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.